All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's good to be back. So, as you all know, I was away. In San Francisco for the last 2 days. Last 3-4 days. I actually really missed the weather. It was very, very nice. So, missed all of E3. But anyway, it's good to be back now. Hey, Gruz, Mr. Salimok, and I, and Wyatt Sanders. Thank you for the host. What? Get some new. New emoticons. Oh, whoa! I have the 1-year subscriber. Whoa! Yeah. Yeah, this means I must have gotten partnered on this day. Actually, let me see when exactly I got partnered. Let me see this. Let's find out. Oh, it looks like I didn't get it until like I didn't really get it until like July something, but I guess it's close enough. Hey! Captain 7 next year. This is a custom tool. This is a custom tool for Manifold Garden. Oh, hey, you know, I was, so Copenhagen, Breckies. Some of you guys might know his channel. I got a lot of people in the chat were telling me about this YouTuber, Brackies. He does YouTube tutorials. I think most of you his stuff might be too introductory. That's what he looked like with short hair. But yeah, he does. You can see he kind of does different tutorials with Unity. So anyway, he was one of the people that was there. Anyway, let's see what can I talk about. Well, so yeah, it was a very cool event. It was basically 2 days. It was called a community summit. So some of the stuff I can't talk about because they showed us some of the new stuff that they were working on, and that's under NDA. But it was just kind of Unity's way of like reaching out to the community, because I guess they've grown a lot in the last few years, and they wanted to. They feel like they sort of, are kind of missing that community aspect, where like knowing the developers. Now there's just so many people using Unity, and the company itself is quite big. So they have a really, really wonderful office downtown San Francisco. We actually stayed in the hotel just right next door. What can I talk about? So the first day we all went to this escape room. Have you guys seen those? It's in a room, and a bunch of us, they split us up into 2 teams of like 7, 8 each, and it was 90 minutes. It was very long. But very cool. This one we were using like, you had to like redirect light rays to know Morse code. But yeah, kind of talk to some of the engineers at Unity to get a sense of, how they can help us out. They're excited about Manifold Garden, and it's Manifold Garden's kind of a really cool kind of case study of testing some of their like anti-aliasing, temporal anti-aliasing, just because it's so it's so extreme, right? So this is a good test case to show off some of the more experimental stuff. Blame. So yes, I was a part of Unity's Secret Summit. So I actually missed all of, but they've got some like new anti-aliasing. Oh, I should have a. I'm surprised. Yeah. I should have Hey, Hassam Shar, Jet user, welcome. So, but yeah, they've got some new, temporal anti-aliasing stuff that they're working on. I mean, they're always kind of working on that. So it would just be a really good. It's like if we can get it to work on Manifold Garden, that'd be such a cool way to kind of showcase that. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, so I missed all of the E3 stuff that happened. I've not actually watched. Yeah, I've not had a chance to catch up on any of the press conferences, more just indirectly through what people have been talking about. More Skyrim. It's like some drama with some indie games. I don't really know the details there. The new Spider-Man game looks very Arkham. Now I am going to let's look at some of the new changes. Oh, and then what happened was I was flying back yesterday. We had this massive storm in Chicago, and it knocked out our server, which has meant I couldn't pull the latest changes. And my friend, who usually kind of handles that, he's got the password to log in to restart that. He was away on his honeymoon in Japan. But fortunately, he woke up, somebody got in touch, he woke up and restarted it. So huge props to him to, take the time during his honeymoon to help us all out here. Yeah, so one of the things that I'm concerned about is I'm sure you guys saw that there's there weren't a lot of indie games. I think Sony did not show any indie games. Xbox showed like one, and then a bunch of montages and a bunch of others in a montage. So, thanks Jet User for the resubscription, by the way. So yeah, I think we're definitely at that part of the console lifecycle where the emphasis is no longer on indie games. I kind of got a sense of that last year when they stopped when Sony did not have a single indie game in their press conference. All right, so yeah, I think, but people were telling me it was like a trailer for one, but all the others were kind of in like a quick montage. So, and this is kind of something that I've been thinking about a lot, because I think, one thing that's always on my mind is like, what could I have done differently? What did I do wrong? And that's, it's sort of this constant process to just kind of analyze what I've been doing, right? So, but some of this stuff is always, it's difficult, because part of me is like, man, I wish, I'd shown at the previous 2 E3s, just not on stage. I was on the show floor with PlayStation. And it's like, man, I'd love to have been part of a E3 presentation, right? Because that's huge. So many eyeballs. You show on that, and I think in terms of sales, if you're not if nothing really major goes wrong, I think you're in a good spot. So definitely being represented on stage at E3 is massive. It's like, oh man, maybe if I had signed with Xbox, that could have happened. But how do I say this? It's like, I couldn't have known that. A lot of this stuff stands for, a lot of this stuff could not have happened. Yeah, you couldn't have known, right? A lot of this stuff is sort of out of my control. I don't know anybody that's bought an indie stand at E3. When I've shown at E3 the last 2 years, it was always with Sony. And for that, Sony, they provide the setup. I basically send them a build and I just show up. I have to cover my own travel expenses, but they have a hotel they can put me up in. So it's actually really, really fantastic showing with Sony. In fact, like, after showing with Sony, I'm like, I never want to show the game on my own. Right? I mean, they got the beautiful TVs, PS4 is there ready to go. You're in the Sony showcase area, right, which is huge. So you just tell journalists, come find me at the Sony spot. As opposed to, like you said, spending a ton of money on your own booth and way off in the middle of nowhere on the show floor. But anyway, I think back to that kind of like analyzing the approach, I also think that's, especially last year after seeing, I know a lot of indies devs, a big part of their strategy is still partnering with the platform. And I think for the most part that is good, right? Having a big partner, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, it can really help you a lot, but it's really, I think you have to treat that stuff like winning the lottery, meaning it's not stuff that you can really plan for. I think the way you should be approaching game marketing is like, actually, I think the case is not, you should not be focusing on the game, is that you should be focusing on marketing just as much as you are making the game, and you should be focusing on your own efforts. You should be but even like I am signed on a console, right? Because the thing to remember is that these consoles do not exist for indie games. Sony does not, the PlayStation 4 does not exist to sell indie games, right? Because for me, if I sell 100,000 copies of Manifold Garden, that is a huge success, right? I think I've talked about this before. It's like 35,000 is what I break even. 100,000, I'd be through the roof. But I'm only one person. Now, 100,000 units for Sony is really not that much, right? So their incentives are not really aligned with mine, right? And that's something really important to think about. There's a really well-known economist. I actually took a class with him when I was in college, Stephen Levin. You might know he wrote the book Freakonomics. But one of the things he talked about was with real estate agents. Because real estate agents, they don't have their incentives aligned with you. So I don't know, what's real estate agents cut? Like let's say you sell a house and your house is, just for the purpose of math, is like 100,000, right? The real estate agent makes, let's say 5%. So if you sell the house for 100,000, the real estate agent's cut is 5,000. Now obviously you want to sell that house for as much as possible, right? But let's say you like 110,000. If you can sell it for that, that's so much better. You'd rather wait to sell the house for 110,000 as opposed to 100,000. But that 10,000 difference for the real estate agent is only $100, right? So the real estate agent's incentive is not quite aligned with yours. Like the real estate agent will push you to sell the house at 100,000 because 110, yeah, they'd have to wait, but they only make an extra $100, right? And I think that's, yeah, like you have to think about the incentives for all the different parties, and it feels like where we are with the console cycle, having reached saturation, they want to be pushing the AAA games, right? Because for each copy, so Call of Duty, Sony is going to make a bigger amount on each copy sold, and they're going to sell a lot more units of that. Okay, so I think as indies we can't rely on the big consoles platforms anymore, right? Early on, right, this is why you see all these indie devs that want to get on the Nintendo Switch, because that's like super early in the console cycle. But even then, that's starting to get that's starting to get filled up. So maybe I don't really know. I think the whole project's like 6 gigabytes or something. So anyway, yeah, I think but basically for the last year and a half, I'd say probably like last 2 years, my focus has been like, I think my strategy has very much been, I'm just gonna build my own audience, because if you're in front of E3, you can get like 1 million people see it, but I'd rather just build up like 35,000 people that really like the game and have them buy the game, as opposed to like trying to get it out in front of all, relying on someone else's audience. Although I think Stardew Valley and Undertale are not good examples, because both of those are just, they're both just like stupidly successful, right? Like it's I think Stardew Valley and Undertale are very much exceptions to the rule. So they're like Minecraft, where you can't really learn stuff from them, I think, just because they're huge exceptions. Anyway. We will see. So, I know this is a development stream, but I think with indie game development now, marketing is so important, and it ties into all of this. So we just have to. So anyway, I wanted to kind of share a lot of this stuff because it is the stuff that is in my mind right now. You know, what how to move forward. Well, I don't. The lines are in edge detection shader. Do I have that? It's an edge detection shader. Oh, is Steam community down? Let me try this. It's like oh man, I just saw some images of the okay, Steam is broken. All right, yeah, okay. So anyway, but yeah, I know my focus is, you know, I want to focus on development and level design, but marketing kind of ties into a lot of what I'm doing moving forward, and it's something I need to be thinking about more and more. And yeah, and of course, you know, if you guys have suggestions or thoughts, feel free to let me know. I'm open to feedback and suggestions. Okay, what's going on? Rami does travel a lot. I think, excluding like comedians and musicians. Rami's one of the people. The guy goes on the new guys go somewhere new like every week. It's pretty crazy. Oh man. Although I would be skeptical. I don't know how. I don't know how much that stuff can be summed up. God, this frame rate is terrible. Oh yeah, I've read that before. Bruce, what's his name again? Do I have an inventory in this game? No, I do not. Oh. Yeah, that's not quite what I have in mind. So are there any examples in movies where like a world emerges? Yes, please do. That's actually just where it's what Twitter uses for that. But you know, I want to see this world like grow and expand. But so sometimes this stuff is like what it should feel like. Hmm. Yeah, I think... Not what I had in mind. Oh. Oh, I think I bought this, and it was okay. It's like a mesh animation. What I'm looking for the word, like mesh formation. I did just say what I'm Googling about. I just said where it makes it look like the mesh is being formed. No, you can do it inside the shader. It's basically what I'm looking for is the reverse of this. It's where it looks like the world gets formed, right? No, I'm not. I'm just deformation. Yeah, but the reverse of deformation. It's like I want it to look like the meshes get formed. I'm really more just looking for visual references for Arthur. There are like some... The reason why I'm looking at the assets is because I remember looking at some really bad ones of this. I don't want to use just the triangles. So... Yeah, like mesh shattering. Ah, okay. Yeah, so this is it, but I don't want this. Right, because there's... There's like a Unity mesh appear asset. Ah, yeah, the Assassin's Creed, that's it. The Assassin's Creed world animation. What do they call that? Intro world scene. Yeah, that's a little closer. Yeah, that's what I've got in mind. Yeah, like this is really what I'm talking about, but a much slowed down version. Yeah. Considering the we're not using this in here. This is actually all right. You guys are jumping to conclusions because I haven't said what this is doing. Obviously, we are going to. It's not kind of a main mechanic. It's just something that I'm using for a very specific part. I'm just trying to give Arthur the visual. I'm just trying to communicate the visual idea that I have in mind. No, there's a very specific reason why we're not using fog. so we would not actually be manipulating the mesh. It's actually just a vertex shader. Right. Yeah, and the whole world is one material. Yeah, no. I know I can do it. I'm more trying to get the visuals of what I have in mind for Arthur. Yeah, but the reverse of it. I found like a really, really bad example on Unity. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, these are more... I feel like you guys don't quite know how I like to work, which is not... I'm not looking for a specific technique. I am looking for visual references of a feel to try to communicate to him. I'm not saying doing reverse. I'm looking for something that kind of captures the feeling that I have in mind. And not all of these are it. Yeah, like this is a little closer. Alright, but the things I don't want, I don't necessarily want a reverse explosion effect. Yeah, I'm looking for concept art hints. Right? Yeah, and like this is right, but the thing is, I don't want these sort of exploding outwards. I actually want everything coming from a single source. Yeah, it should sort of emerge evenly from the source, right? Which is what this is. Let me just see Assassin's Creed 4 chapter. Let me see if they have a. Exactly. Right. Yeah, not quite this. And again, I'm not looking for the technical how-to. I'm just looking for visual references of world growing animation. Like, see, this is the feeling, right? This is what I was looking for. Now, not exactly how this is, but that sense of the world is getting grown. Yeah, like, see, this is what I'm talking about, right? So guys, remember, like I'm saying, I'm not looking for the technical. I'm not trying to replicate this exactly. It's the feeling that this creates. That's what we're trying to capture. We don't have the... I don't have a final idea for what I have in mind, and it's going to be a combination of what is technically possible given our resources, but this is more concept art references. Yeah, I'm looking for just the direction, right? So that's not yeah, like we might end up using vertex shader where we're expanding from the source, breaking up into triangles. So we're not going to use an animation, but the feeling is what I've got there. Yeah, we're really just way. Yeah, that's probably what we'll end up doing, but I want to, we're not, it actually won't be from player position. It needs to come from, so this is what I'm talking about. Right, but see, that's not the issue right now. Is not the technical, is that it's not quite capturing the feel of it. I think this can be much slower. Yeah. Right. I think slower. Yeah, and again, this is not the final one, right? Like basically Arthur got in touch. You know, Arthur made this tool and was like, "Hey, here's the first pass at it. What do you think?" And this is just so, you know, for me it's like, well, this is all part of the process, figuring this stuff out. What if it's not using player position right now? It's not revealing gradually. Yeah. Visible in the shader makes them visible, and you color the things if you want to. If all the blocks are invisible and the shader makes them visible, and you color the things you want to expand. Yeah. We're not. I'm not sure. Again, it's not. So, this is a bit spoilery. Hey, Carlos. So what it is that you know, a large part of the game, basically, you know, we eventually kind of discover these, and these happen when the world collapses on itself. So these kind of are like God cubes that hold the power. They're this is sort of the this is sort of it's like it contains the Big Bang inside. So it's the birth of a world contained within it. So you've seen Prometheus. You're sort of like you're an engineer. You're creating new worlds. So this is sort of to give you that sense of feeling, right? But it's not oh, this is interesting. Huh. That's a cool effect, by the way. Yeah, that's not gonna go in the game. Okay, so let's take a look at another change. So yeah, I don't when I'm at this point at this stage it's not necessarily I'm not too worried about like the how to. I'm not too worried about the technical, and it's not. I don't have the final visual, right? I think some art directors are like, okay, I want to look exactly like this. I don't quite have that now. I more sort of have kind of rough ideas of the feel, and so it's just sort of a back and forth stage from here. Okay. Oh yeah, no, but I know a lot of people were like saying you can't do this, you can't do that, and that's not. It's like not what I'm worried about at the moment. Hey, Gru's right. Have a good night. Yeah, usually the way I like to work is we just kind of keep playing with this until we. Oh, interesting. It's very cool. Oh, huh. This is automatically generated, indeed, yes. It's not a random screw up. Anyway, yeah. So a lot of this stuff is procedurally generated. Hey, CJ Hayton. So yeah, anyway, this is a new system that we have been playing with. Aye. It's different. I mean, there's like a base pattern I can use, but there's a lot of randomness that happens. So you can see I can actually just change the. I mean, it's like I can set the colors, and I mean I can choose which parts get randomized, but all in all, it's not. A lot of that stuff is out of my hands. Yeah, so like I can set these colors. And you know, well here I can actually hit. I can just randomize, so it's this is generating a different one each time. So yeah, I can kind of tune it. I can set like the minimum. So this is like the average position. This is like with the smallest value on all of them. This is with the max value on all of them. So you know, it just gives you a variety of situations. Yeah, but so for every playthrough, it's going to be random. Anyway, so that's all right, guys. I've been streaming for a little over an hour. I am going to wrap up the stream because I just wanted to give feedback. I wanted to kind of look over some of this stuff, but it is my first day back. I gotta go make some dinner now. Yeah, it's my first day back, so it's going to take me a little while. Well, today's going to be a little slow, but I'm trying to kind of get back into the rhythm of things. This is why I don't take that many business trips these days. They're just super exhausting for me. Yeah, okay. So like what I do is I'll set the values and then I'll drag it into, make it a prefab, then bring it back in. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll probably be back later this evening. While this is going, hopefully this isn't, let me just kind of talk about what we've got left. I want to give you guys an update on the status of the game, because I know lots of people are asking me. So let's take a second to do a production review. So yeah, so that world growing, that world shrinking, that is super spoiler. It's like a late stage part of the game, but I wanted to show you guys just to see what that's all about. You know, I'm gonna do another level. This is too distracting. Okay, so we're working on that. We've got this system's in a good spot. I think there's some more tweaks, but we'll get there. The other thing that my main focus at the moment is to get in a draft of the entire game. So this is kind of connecting up levels. I did. Here's a pro tip, which is always travel with a clipboard. It's basically like a portable desk. So anyway, I was able to, during my trip, make a map of the whole game, what I want connected. And what's good about this is now I know, like, okay, these are the levels that need to get finished. These still need to get done. Here's some room for optional stuff. So yeah, I'm going to try to focus on getting this map in the game. Then we'll start playtesting it. We'll start optimizing. There's going to be a lot of problems for this round of playtesting. You know, there's going to be a lot of puzzles that are impossible to solve because I forgot to put in all the pieces. You know, the pacing is going to be all wrong. But the important thing is to have a foundation. We can start working on that. I also plan on, you know, once we have a draft of this game, we can start optimizing, because we're sort of at that point now. We've done a lot of like the super generic approach to optimization, and you know, we now need to look at specifics, right? Like, okay, it's this level is slowing us down. What can we do to fix up this stuff? I don't know if this would make it into the art book. Hello, Provilac. Let's see, what else is there? So yeah, get a draft of the whole game done so we can start beta testing, start optimization, start working on music and sound effects. I also need to get some additional funding because the game has taken a little longer than I had expected. So I need money. So you gotta get that. Gotta start talking to Sony about what I need for certification. Gonna start thinking about trailers, marketing, letting more people know about the game. Speaking of marketing, if you guys like the game, you should add the game. We have a Steam store page. You can add the game to your wish list there. What are the ways? Well, you know, I'm already being backed by Indie Fund, so my first step is to ask them for more funding, and that is something we talked about, you know. Let's see, what else? Oh, right, and this Saturday, is the third episode of Unfolding the Garden. So we did episode 2. Now, the third episode, so this is a weekly show where I look at old builds of the game and talk about, you know, how the game evolved over time. So yeah, the third episode 3 will be this Saturday. And what else is there? Yeah, I mean that sounds like that covers just about everything. We're getting close to finishing, but as you can see, there's still a bajillion things that I need to do. So yeah, I'm gonna go make some dinner, and then we'll be back later this evening with some more level design. And as always, thank you all for the support. If you like the stream, you should follow the channel. And I will see you all next time. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, let's see who else is streaming. I'm going to give them a host. Ezra's back. So I'm going to host Ezra today. All right. Peace out, all.